Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
You don't have to feel good about it. You just have to keep going. The feeling will pass, but you will remain. You are greater than your feelings. Going to bed late and waking up early to work for a few days won't kill you. You're not going to burn out. You're doing what it takes. If you're one of those people that push work-life balance, just remember, the people who like working a lot don't care. I've never regretted trying harder at anything ever. Hard times last long, but an epic story feels like a lifetime.
All right, guys, just finished up that workout, man. It's kind of Saturday afternoon. Too many people there, man, I'll tell you that much. Aren't too many winners out here in the world. I work out in there, no weights involved. Just our body weight and our ego. How bad do we want it? We made something happen right there that's going to transform the rest of our work in the gym. We broke the monotony up, made our body guess, and shocked to new situations. Take that kind of rubble back into our normal workouts. Exponential growth comes. When you do the same thing over and over again, you get the same results. When you shock it up like we just did, get ready for a little bit of a tsunami coming in of success.
Just get started. Just get started. The longest time in the world is the hesitation between thought and action. Well, at least it has the potential to be the longest time. It can actually be forever. Forever. Einstein, his theory was that time is flexible, time is pliable. And to prove that, beyond what Einstein said, 1 second can actually become an eternity. That's how much it can flex.
Well, I think it's important to do things you don't like. And I was very ashamed of my life story for a long time. I didn't want to go out and tell anybody shit about me. So that's why I had two people. I had created one David Goggins and one Goggins.
Right.
And I didn't want people to know that I had all these issues. But after a while, people start to give you these different taglines. Like you're superhuman, you're amazing. I'm like, you fuckers don't know anything about me, man. I'm this insecure kid. I started realizing there's a lot of people out here who are going through a lot of problems that I once tapped into. I had a whole bunch of issues growing up. And, I felt compelled to just, you gotta start sharing this stuff, man, because people see where you're at today. They see where you're at today. They see the man you are today, this hard, rock hard human being. Show these people where you come from.
Right.
Show these people it's possible.
But this is the thing. It should be impossible for me to get back up, but it's not. You see, I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No. But if I fail, I try again and again and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up. Does that make sense? And it's not the end until you've given up. And just the fact that you're here should persuade you that you have another chance to get back up. There's still hope.
You have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They are lies, all of them. Think about the things that you tell yourself, the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Think about them. You don't have time. That's a lie. You don't have support. That's a lie.
If you're so focused on getting absolute deep stretch with a 4-second negative, proper, perfect execution, all these things 100%, or mentally, that's fatiguing. And to do that for, let's say, optimized periodization, you're going to do a 4-week program of 18 to 20 reps, and then you're going to bring it down to 6 to 10 once your volume's high and you're building your strength with X, Y, and Z. If you can't get there mentally, because mentally you're too fatigued to go to failure on that set, and you're like thinking too much, like you just stop, versus just like turning your brain off and just going full tilt to failure, you're not getting as much benefit. Are you failing because your muscles are failing, or because mentally you can't keep thinking about the fucking 4-second negative for long enough, you know?
Yeah.
So it seems obvious, but if you're holding yourself back by thinking too much, then you're not doing good enough. And I think, you know, you try and reinvent the wheel a million times and it just doesn't work. So you got to find the balance within it.
We all have this voice. It's the right or wrong voice. And a lot of times that voice guides us into comfort. And my voice guided me into comfort a lot. But I have this other voice I heard my whole life saying, hey, motherfucker, what are you doing? Nah, man, we got to go over here. We got to go over here to that rock pile over in the fucking corner where nobody's at. That's where victory's at. We're over there in that corner. So this voice was giving me all these answers. I wasn't a real smart kid growing up, but I had this crazy voice in my head saying, over there is where the fucking answers are. And I didn't want to listen to it because over there was pain. Over there was me looking in the mirror. Over there was me being accountable for all these things I went through my life. Even though people put them on me, it's now mine to own. And I didn't want to go over there by myself, but I had to. And this voice was guiding me there. It's God, whatever you want to call it. But that's what it was in me.
There is no fundamental like secret here. It's called hard work and sweat. If you have that and you're willing to provide that in exchange for a better life, well, everyone will make that deal with you. If you're willing to give up that for pride, accomplishment, feeling of self-worth, if you're willing to make that transaction, Miami Fitness is your bank. And it's open every single day for your transactions. Make your deposits every fucking day. Pay your dues. Become the person you want to be. It's the easiest fucking equation in the world.
I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment, because people tend to, a natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit? And that is a really difficult thing to tell you. Can you tell the difference between those two things?
Right.
You know, so you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis.
You can hesitate for 1 second to get started on something, a workout, a project, a task, something that you know you should do. You can hesitate for 1 second. That 1 second of hesitation, all of a sudden it turns into 5 seconds. And then 10 seconds. And then 10 minutes. And then just like that, you drifted into the eternity zone. 1 second became an eternity because something that was gonna happen is now never gonna happen, ever. Why is that? Because you hesitated. You hesitated. So don't take that chance. Instead, take action. Take action. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. You've had enough damn rest. Go take action.
Every time you wanted to quit, every time life tried to break you, you chose to stand tall. That's what makes you great. Today ain't just about a piece of paper. It's about the grind, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the prayers you whispered when nobody was watching. It's all about those moments when you could have folded, but you didn't. You see, the underdog story is the realest story there is. Because when you come from nothing, you appreciate everything. You hustle different, you love different, and you lead different.
But I'm amazed at what a human being can actually do. So when I start talking to myself in the third person, it's strictly because I know that I literally made this human being out of just like a whole bunch of scraps. And I wasn't, I wasn't a mechanic. I wasn't a carpenter. So I didn't know how to do any of this shit. I wasn't trained in how to build a human being from nothing. Like my mom didn't train me. My dad didn't train me. Life didn't train me. Well, life did train me. Yeah. Life did train me, correction. And I started putting this scrap metal together. I'm like, I wonder what the fuck's gonna happen. The first year I tried to do was all fucked up. And after a while, I started learning more and more and more through pain and suffering. I started learning so much about stuff. Before I knew it, man, I built this beautiful car. I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? And I knew how, and I know how to do it because I have all the tools through all the failure I went through trying to build this person who's Goggins.
Even if the thing that you're working on right now doesn't amount to the outcome that you expected that it would, it doesn't mean that you don't become better through doing it.
I thought, what kind of purpose do I have to live? I mean, are you just here to live to die? I mean, is there not a purpose for me? Is there not a purpose in life? And I had questions and no answers. And I asked my mom and dad, why did this happen? I asked doctors, why did this happen? And they don't know. There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you got to live with. The choice that we have, though, is either to give up or keep on going. I want to ask you, what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe in yourself? Are you going to believe everybody else's judgment on you? Are you going to believe people when they say that you're a failure and no one really likes you, no one really cares about you? And it's not really to say that, hey, you need someone to come up and say, hey, really, I like you, I care about you. No, it's not that, but it's the fact that people put you down.
And you're too tired, or you're too sore, or you're just plain not feeling it. Lies, lies, lies. And the list goes on and on and on. And it doesn't stop if you don't make it stop. So recognize the excuses are not valid. They aren't. They're trumped up. They're conjured up. They're fabricated. They're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth.
You know, when you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery and shitty, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering?
You know, if you want to do something and you want it that bad, you'll make sacrifices. And, you know, growing up for me as a kid, I made a lot of sacrifices that I didn't seem that they were a big deal, and I don't think of them as being a big deal right now. You know, there were Saturdays or Fridays where, you know, I'd give up going to a dance or hanging out with my friends because I had workout the next day. But those things that I gave up, you know, were things that I wanted to help me get to my goal. And there were times where I've been put in uncomfortable situations, but I've used my mental power, my mental strength to push through it. I think that's how you can look at any of the athletes in the world. I mean, Tiger, the guy has a busted knee and still comes and destroys the rest of the field. You know, that's the thing. It's like people don't make excuses.
The more risk you take, the luckier you get. So people need to learn to take one big risk a day. And that could be walking up to someone and saying, would you like to go out on a date? You know, like practice that risk muscle. Like, knock on a door and try and sell something. You know, like whatever the feeling of risk is to you, put a video up that might be embarrassing. Take a risk. You know, every day take a risk and build up that risk muscle, because risk is where success comes.
It takes more effort to start in the beginning, and more people are right about the fact they're like, hey, you're not going to hit it big. And guess what? A month in, you're not. But they're only measuring on months. And at 6 months, you're also not going to have hit it big yet. And they're going to be like, I'm still fucking right. And at a year, you're still not going to have hit it big. And they'll still be fucking right. And every day that you haven't hit it, they're going to feel like they were right. But they're wrong, because they're measuring in days and you're measuring in decades.
Fighting is efficient in close quarter, but don't make a plan of fighting. That is a very good way to lose your teeth. There's so much to remember. If you try to remember, you will lose. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Put it into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or creep or drip or crash. Be water, my friend.
I always equated working out to struggle. And I struggled my whole life, but I ran from it. So I started realizing, man, I gotta start facing the struggle, and I gotta be mentally strong for the struggle. So that's why I started coming up with I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for to lift 400 pounds. And I found out on my own pretty much, is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. Start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. It's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. And that's how I started coming up. You know, I just started being very uncomfortable. And now it's like just a way of life.
Sun don't stop for nobody, man. Sun don't fucking stop. Sun gonna be up in the morning regardless. That sun is gonna be up in the morning regardless of how I fucking feel and how depressed I am. The sun is gonna fucking shine in the morning, and at nighttime the moon gonna be there, and you gonna look up, these days gonna keep going by. So do you let the days go by and look up and you done wasted a year doing what? Or do you just pick it up? All right, well, gotta figure it out, made some mistakes, life goes on. Let me figure out life from this point. I'm a life goes on type of guy.
The thing that was the outcome of those 5 years was me and the skills and the experiences that I possessed through going through it. And so whatever the next mountain that you're trying to climb is, of course it's going to be higher, but it's going to require you to go through the smaller mountains to get to that point. So, because the more able you are, the more able you realize you can become. And you will get way bigger outcomes from the things that you had, like the path that led you here, than you think you can.
And it's easy for that to happen. It's actually easy to find yourself with your life on some kind of a cruise control, super cruise control, autopilot scenario. You do something, whatever, you take some action. You do something in a day. And the next day, it kind of worked yesterday, so you do it today. You repeat that action. And then you repeat it again. And that little repetition forms a pattern. And the pattern becomes a routine, and the routine becomes a rut. And it's hard to get out of a rut.
I think certainly extremely tenacious, and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week.
Gosh.
And then
a lot of work.
All those things improve the odds of success.
Okay.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
The one thing that made me who I am today is being vulnerable. It's breaking myself down to the absolute rock bottom and being able to tell people who I am. And that's how I fixed it. Literally, being able to look somebody in the eye and say, you know what, man, I have a whole bunch of character problems, character flaws. I've lied about this. I've cheated here. I'm insecure here. This isn't the real me. I lied to you about that. I wanted your acceptance in life. All those things happen, but the thing about it is that we get judged so quickly by who we are. We don't know. We don't go to where it happened. Life created this person, me. Life created me to be this fucked up person that I was back in the day. And I had to realize, man, that's okay, man. It's not my fault. Now I gotta go back and fix this shit, though. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this isn't your fault, why you do some things you do, why you feel the way you feel. But no one's coming back to save your ass. You have to go back to where this started, wherever that place is for everybody, and have the courage to go back there and start fixing what broke you.
The hard work is getting to the point where you have the evidence that people are willing to feel safe agreeing with you. And the only way for them to feel safe agreeing with you is for you to disagree with them for a very long period of time until you prove that you're right.
The work you know you should be doing but aren't is the opportunity, because that is the work that your competitors also aren't doing. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their fucking notifications because they can't stick with shit. They can't say no. And so sometimes you got to say, hey guys, we're going to stay at this revenue level until we get referrals over 30%. We're going to stay at this revenue level. We're going to stay at this level of advertising because I don't want anyone else to know how mediocre our sandwiches are. Why would I tell anyone else? I don't want anyone to know. If I could test this with no one knowing, I would do it, but we have to advertise a little bit so we can fix our thing. But the point of that first phase of growing the business, because you start making sales, is to get better, not to get rich. The point in the first phase is to learn, not to earn.
So to everyone out there whose dreams are scaring you, whose dreams make you want to quit, just don't quit. That's good. Your dreams should be big. They should be scary. Just keep pushing through. I have this thing I say, champion mentality. It's not about winning. It's not about a trophy. It's about having no quit. It's about giving everything you have so that when you show up on game day, before the results are over, you're proud of yourself. You know the work you put in.
Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change. But my coach used to always say, everything that you want is on the other side of hard, right? He had another, I think I said in the book, he said, reps removed out, right? Reps removed out. My biggest frustration with my son used to be, we would go outside at the house and he would shoot a shot and he'd be mad. He'd be like, dang. We're like, what you mad for? You don't get up enough reps, so.
I have money. It's trust and character I need around me. Who you choose to be around you, lets you know who you are. One car in exchange for knowing what a man's made of. That's a price I can live with. Look at all those people down there. They follow the rules for what? They're letting fear lead them.
What happens if I don't?
Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back.
Everything I need is in my mental lab. Everything. Because I'm in constant study of myself. And I know what needs to be conquered because I'm constantly going through what I don't like, what I'm not comfortable with. I know, and only I can fix these problems because I have to face these problems. So I have a rolling log on what needs to happen. So I'm really good about being accountable about, okay, you need to be better here, you need to be better here, you need to overcome this, overcome that, and I do a good job of doing that.
Don't aim for mediocre. 99% of people in the world are convinced that they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You are better than you think.
Guys, I'm fine with being an open book. I'm fine with the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm fine being flawed. I'm fine with all the things that have happened to me that have been exposed. I'm fine with it all. I don't hide from it. I don't run from it. I don't avoid any of it. I'm fine. It's all right. It's a bed that I made for myself. I happily lay in it. And I'll be fine figuring it out, moving forward.
When you come from a small town, and you come from a place that a lot of people don't want to come out of it and get out of it, and all you want to do is become somebody, small town mentality is a real mentality. You've got to be able to get out and let your mind see open-mindedness. Because a small town, what it does to you is it closes your mind. Completely closes your mind. Not everybody. This isn't everybody. A lot of people. You have to be able to go out there and create open-mindedness. You need space. You need space to see the world. Like a lot of racism, a lot of ignorance in the world, it comes from people not being out and seeing other things, seeing other people, seeing all kind of shit. That's why we judge so harshly, because our minds are so closed to the reality of life. Period.
Don't be on like autopilot. All right, it's real easy to slide into autopilot mode, right? Or whatever they got now, these super cruise controls where the car's driving itself. Well, don't do that with your life. Don't get on the road and just kind of let the car drive itself. Don't do that. Because when that's happening, you're not directing what's going on. You're not in control anymore. You're just drifting. You aren't steering the car or the plane or whatever. It's not going where you want it to go. It's just going wherever it's going. Just random. Just unintentional. Inadvertently moving forward with no actual direction. Don't let that happen with your life.
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. Think if you're the sort of person who is regularly surprised by how well things go, that's maybe a good indication that could be about you. And basically, I think I'm certain that most capable people don't believe in themselves enough. And a lack of confidence killed more dreams than a lack of competence ever did.
So I had to take a step out of my life because once you're in that hell, that's all you see is what's in front of you. When I stepped out of it, I saw Brazil very differently. There were a lot of great people in Brazil. Some of the best people I knew were from Brazil. But when you're in hell, all you see is the little patch in front of you of the kids that are calling you nigger, or the people that spray painted nigger were going to kill you on your car. People put that shit in your locker. People put that shit on your notebook in Spanish class. That's all you see. You didn't see that. My God, a lot of people fucking like me here. So once you take a step back and see the reality of the true ignorance that you're dealing with from a small group of people, that's when you get growth.
The truth will set you free. The truth will stand, and the truth will deliver you from procrastination and laziness and the downward spiral that comes with a lack of discipline. So don't believe the lies, believe the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done. So cast out the lies, burn them down, and listen to the truth, and live the truth, and go out and get it done.
So the idea that working hard doesn't make progress is one of the biggest farces that exists in humanity, because at the end of the day, whatever you amount to isn't going to matter anyways, right? And so if there is anything that's eternal for us, at least as individuals, it's going to be who we become in the process. The work works on you more than you work on it. And so if you want to be the best in the world at something, you do the work to become the best in the world, and the work works on you.
We had to end this drill. We had to end with this drill that I do where you shoot a 3 in this corner, and then you run to the other end of the court, shoot a 3 in this corner, run to this corner, come to this corner, right? So that's 4 shots. Then you go to this wing, 5, that wing, 6, this wing, 7, this wing, 8, top of the key, 9, this top, 10.
Yeah.
Non-stop. So sprint, 10 shots. Got to make 7 out of 10, and we done with the workout for the day.
You know, people need to have purpose to get up. They need purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There's no 5K. There's no I'm going to get into school to be this or that, and still perform to the highest level. Because what people don't get is one day that thing's going to come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us, because the very purpose is you.
You don't have the equipment or the gear. Lies. You don't know the best way. Who cares? That's a lie. Or you're too old, or you're too young. Of course you're too old or too young. Lie. And there's you're too busy. Sure you are. That's a lie.
Your 1.0 version is going to try and negotiate with your 2.0 version and say, no, don't evolve, don't grow, don't change, go back to the loser that you were. Just have another drink, watch TV for another hour, eat that fucking ding dong, and then chase it down with a Twinkie, sick motherfucker. So I'm here to tell you that it will take longer. It will be more difficult. It will require more effort on your part. But you know what I can tell you about that? When you do the hard things, you will have a happy and easy life. But if you constantly choose to take the path of easy and negotiate and compromise, you will have a hard life, a hard life that ends with regret. So I'm here to tell you that if you live a no compromise life, if you become unreasonable in your expectations, find a group of fighter jets to belong to and no more fucking crop dusters, you will become the 2.0 that you deserve to become and that your family deserves to have as a leader.
There's lots of people who work really, really hard for a long time and never make it. And that's because working hard is just part of the puzzle. The other part of the puzzle is how high your skill set is, how developed your skill set is. And so we have these people that say these things like, work smart, not hard, all right? Well, you're a moron, all right? I'm gonna tell you that right now, because it takes both. It takes hard work and it takes smart work. So while you have to be putting in the work and you have to be showing up and you have to be giving it all you have to consistently be aware and conscious of the intentional skill set that you are building along the way. If you do not have the skill set and you just work hard, you're going to get paid a fraction of what you could get paid if you actually intentionally built skills to go along with it.
But who instilled in me this work ethic to fight for what I believe in, chase after my dreams. Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, and more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it. And so that defined my upbringing, that defined my career.
He said, you know the difference between champions and everyone else? And I was like, what? And he said, everyone always looks at them and says, what do champions have that I don't have? And he said, they have it backwards. He said, it's what do champions not have that I have? It's what do they lack? And it's an off button. They just don't stop. And so in dealing with the gold medalists, he's like, they just never stop. They just can't stop. Everything in their life is geared towards one goal. And so finding that thing, and they approach everything in their life that way. And I think that that level of obsession around like everything that you touch on a daily basis is required for really getting to where you want to go.
Every day that you don't do work, you're going backwards. And it definitely will hurt you, and it'll show up. You can't get away with what you got away with when you were 23. It doesn't work. You have to stay ahead of it.
Because when I wake up, I know the journey that it takes for me to find my greatness. And it's hard. Nothing is easy. Nothing just like, oh, I wake up and I just do this or I do that, or it just, I watch people every day go through life and it's so easy. For me to be where I'm at today, it takes every bit of me. So when I speak about it, and as I get going here, you'll start seeing me, the tempo will rise, the passion will come out, because I'm back there. I'm doing what I do every day to become a human being. And so nothing is easy.
It's 1 a.m. I'm going for my third workout. Do I want to go to the gym? Absolutely not. I'd rather, lay in my house and sit in the movie theater and watch movies. But, to be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime. Let's go ahead and get this workout in. Lights out, party's over.
Since when were you so smart? Come on, faster.
Why? No one's chasing.
I'm chasing you.
I'm not like you. I'm nothing. Just let me be nothing.
What are you talking about?
I can't make a track team. I didn't even know why you
Yes,
want
you
me
can. If you can take it, you can make it.
What?
If you can take it, you can make it. All right, you train, you fight way harder than those other guys, and you win. You get out from under them. Or you keep going the way you're going and you end up as a bum in the streets. You could do this, Lou. Just gotta believe you can.
I don't believe.
I do.
I'd say one of the strongest mental frames that has gotten me through my hardest times is thinking this will be the story that I will one day tell. And that means the harder it is, the bigger the dragon, the more epic the story, and by consequence, the more epic the hero. And if you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them.
What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to forgo? Because a lot of people, like this guy came in one time, I was a trainer, and he goes, man, I can stop doing anything but my Frappuccino. I go, fucking leave. Because I'm looking for that person like me. People, it's hard for people to understand how I lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything. And when people come to me with that kind of mindset, I can work with you. When you are willing to strip yourself down to nothing and give everything, that's who I want to work with. Because now I can mold you into exactly who you want to be.
Smile wide, hold your head high, and when they ask you how you made it, you tell them, I believed in myself when nobody else did. Keep pushing, keep winning, and remember, it's always the underdogs who end up running the game. Trust me, that's why I'm running the game.
Because only idiots want to be around I can't catch a break guys.
Yeah.
Only the dummies stick around. After a while, even if they're your good friend, you gotta be like, bro, you gotta fucking stop. You gotta stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break shit is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you. But some people, they get caught in that pattern, and it might be their parents, it might be how they were raised, somebody might have told them they were useless real early on, it's stuck, and they never feel like they get enough reassurance, they never feel like they get enough motivation, and they feel like other people get more, and they look at all these other people, how come he gets that, how come she gets this, how come he's got that going on, and all that's bad for you too.
When I think about how hard I want to work, the interesting thing about that is that the only person who can judge you on your success is you, because you're the only one who knows how much left in the tank you really had. And the better you get, and you can resonate with this, you start winning exteriorly. And that's when people are like, it felt so empty. It's because they didn't actually work as hard as they could have. They just worked hard enough to beat everyone else. But that discrepancy between how hard you could have worked to work your hardest versus what was required in order to win, to me, that's the opportunity that shifting towards the work being the goal unlocks for you. And I work harder now than I did when I was poor. And I think it's because I've learned to enjoy it.
Running is running. It sucks, but you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins. So that is what it takes for me to do what I do. It may take you something differently. So for me, everything has to be in the studying. Everything has to be into this. Everything has to be, and everywhere I am, it has to be there. Me, focused where I am. That's why you're my second podcast I've done since Rogan, since the book came out. I don't have time for that shit. Because if I want to be great, I'm not trying to maximize money or maximize people knowing me. I do these things because maybe someone out there will understand me and get it and say, I can grow from this guy, and others just won't.
I've always figured that why go to a tournament if you're not going there to try and win? There's really no point in even going. That's the attitude I've had my entire life, and that's the attitude I will always have. As I would explain to my dad, second sucks and third's even worse. That's just a feeling.
But on tour, that's not too bad sometimes, though.
That's not too bad, but I want to win. That's just my nature.
We need a lot more success than what we think we need. And I think it's very, very dangerous as a man, considering that it's our job to build and provide and inspire and show the way, for us to think that we have it made at any point in our lives, because you don't. You never know what's going to happen. And at the end of the day, if you keep going, you'll be in a position where you can do all kinds of really good stuff for people. So to sum this up, you have to expand your vision. You have to say, all right, I'm here, and where I really want to be is here, and I'm a gazillion miles away from that. And so I have to work hard, just like you had to work very hard on the real day one to get where you are now.
You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I fucking need. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school, there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
The habits that you don't intentionally form, you gotta watch out for those. They don't take you anywhere positive. They drift down the path of least resistance. And you know what? They're not obvious. You might not even notice these little patterns that you've developed because they come on gradually and they feel comfortable, right? They put your mind at ease. We're always more comfortable doing something that we've already done before. So they lure you in, but they're not helping you. They're not helping you at all. They're hurting you. So snap out of that. Get out of that rut. Turn off that autopilot and grab the wheel and steer your habits and your routines and steer your life in the direction you actually want to go. Take control and drive.
People don't even look you in the eye. People ask you how you are and you say fine, but you're not fine, and they'll never know that. I tell you, life is interesting. Life's a journey. See this phone here? Let's say that I want to go to the phone, right? And I start from over here. So I have to take one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. You can only take one step at a time. I don't care how big your step is, it's only one step at a time. You can't do 2 steps in one. You understand? So it's like one step at a time. And you take steps in this direction, you take steps in that direction. Sort of get lost along the way, and sometimes you fall down.
You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
I realized that no work is wasted because I am the output of the work, not the outcome. And that was one of the biggest frame shifts for me in never thinking that work is wasted, because the more I work, the bigger my work ethic, the more my work capacity increases. And to give an exercise example, because I think it's cool and interesting, is that a lot of people talk about this concept of overtraining. Don't worry, I'll bring it back.
I'm comfortable with the understanding of hard work brings great rewards. This is a reminder of the hard work and dedication that I put into everything that I've done. I'm not content because I know where I came from and I don't ever want to go back. That doesn't mean I don't want to go back to the city. That doesn't mean I want to go back to the people. That means I don't want to go back to living like I once was. I want to go back and I want to help. I want to inspire, I want to motivate, and I want to show people that there is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. But I personally don't want to lose all that I've been able to get. So I need to make sure that I do everything to keep it. So I can't be content.
How bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? You know how to do it. You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it. So I can't make you do it, nor do I have the time or energy to force you into that place that I know you have to be to do it. There's no luck in this game, man. There may be a little bit of luck, but the luck happens after you bust your ass and you put yourself in that lucky situation. Luck doesn't happen. You put yourself in that situation where luck might fucking happen. And that's what people don't know. But to get there, luck ain't gonna happen. You have to put yourself in that situation, man. It takes a lot of work.
Some of the best athletes, or the greatest athletes in the world, do things when they're uncomfortable. You know, everybody can compete when they're feeling good, happy, excited, rested. But it's the best people who can overcome when they're tired, sore, not in the great mind, you know, not in the best mindset. And I think mental power that the greatest athletes have can push all the pain aside. You know, and I mean, like when I was doing that Navy SEALs thing, was it easy for me to do it? No. Was it easy for me to climb over a 45-foot wall and look down? Not at all, and I'm afraid of heights. But, I said to myself, I'm going to do this and no one's going to stop me. And I think that's the biggest thing, is how strong you can be mentally. I think that really shows who the person is. So I think that's one thing that separates the good from the greatest.
You know that when you get done doing the hard thing, it's going to feel better. Waking up, working out, taking care of some tedious task. You know you will feel better when it is done. You know that. You also know that if you don't do the hard thing, the thing that you don't want to do, that you don't feel like doing, you know if you don't do it, you're going to feel inferior. You know you're going to feel weak. And that feeling, that horrible feeling, you know that feeling too. You know it. You know it's true. Will cause you some short-term gratification. You'll get to sleep a little bit more. You won't have to put out during a workout. You don't have to do this tedious task. You'll get some short-term gratification, but the long-term regret will be strong.
Your ability to recover from working out itself is trainable. So when you do more volume, your ability to withstand volume, your work capacity increases. And so to the same degree, people are like, I feel burnt out. The thing is that you either die or you adapt. That's it, right? And in the fitness world, you either die, get injured, or adapt, right? And since you're probably not going to die, you really just need to make sure that you don't get injured. And if you don't get injured and you don't die, you get better. And so that mental process in terms of how I see work.
I'm a funny motherfucker. Big time. But guess what? Right now, it's easy to be happy. It's easy to smile. Those are the good times. The good times. Those times don't need to be trained. You know, I had to train myself for good times. Those times, for most people, don't need to be trained. What I'm trying to give you all is the misery of sometimes we go through in life. Those are the times we don't want to fucking talk about. We want to skip forward to peace. Let's just fucking fuck all this. Let's skip all this pain and suffering and misery of real life. Let's cover it over, nice big blanket, and let's find peace. No. Sorry. It's not possible. Got to go into that fucking hellhole of life that you have that fucked you up and fix it. And that's what I'm here to do.
So today, I want you to do 3 things. Stay humble. Never forget where you came from. Stay hungry. Keep that fire in your soul. And stay true. Always be real with yourself and the world. Because the world don't need no more copies. It need originals. And trust me, ain't nobody else that can do what you do like you do.
You are not ready.
I know.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
I'm not here today to tell you that I understand your pain. I don't know how it feels to be abused. I don't know how it feels to feel, quote, fat and you got an eating disorder. I don't know how it feels to have a broken home. I don't know how it feels. But I know how it feels to have a broken heart. And I know how it feels to be alone. And I want you to know that I found my strength in Jesus Christ, and you're going to find your strength in whatever you find it in. But I just want you to know that it's not the end. It matters how you're going to finish. Are you going to finish strong? And you will find that strength to get back up.
But what makes you way up here is being from way down here. So I love going back. I call it, so when I was growing up for like 3 years, so from the time I was 8 to the time I was like 12, we lived in a $7 a month place. And what I call it is I'm always paying rent in that $7 a month home. Every day of my life. I go back and revisit that place. Because that place made me this good animal. That place made me this hard man. And then from that place, so that place is hard work. That place is going back to the fundamentals of life. The fundamentals of what made David Goggins. Going back in there, going back to the library of David Goggins, studying even more than what I know, taking that out, going back to where I'm at now, and then moving forward. So I believe in always taking steps backwards to your roots. We cannot forget the roots and what made us the animal.
When I look at you in particular, and I realized this during our second conversation at the start of this year, the reason that people get confused about your motivation and your workload is that they don't realize that the thing you do for work is the thing that you do for fun. That's the fundamental misunderstanding that people have. And because of that, you're prepared to work hard. And working hard doesn't feel like wasted time. Lots of people associate working hard with not making progress. Therefore, working feels like wasting.
When you do what you're supposed to do, remember that. Remember that the pain right now will absolutely pay off in the future. And the capitulation and the conceding defeat to weakness, that will absolutely result in the pain of regret and remorse later. You know this to be true. So don't allow it. Remember the feeling of victory that comes from doing the right thing, the hard thing. Remember that feeling, and then go get it done.
When you push yourself that hard, you sleep easy at night. That's not because you're physically tired. It's not because physically you're worn out that you sleep easy. It's that by going the physical exhaustion, your brain can finally rest, knowing you give it your all. So when you physically push yourself that hard, you sleep easy because your mind's at rest. That you did everything you could to be a champion that day. That's the difference. That's what gives you the strength to get off the ground and do it again.
If you want to be great, you want to be the baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you're going to be misunderstood by everybody because you're going to be so fucking obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes.
That's the truth.
It takes every second of your fucking life. Anybody says balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of fucking people. It is. But if you want to fucking go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you fucking do, you've arrived. When you are misunderstood to the point where fucking people think you're psycho and you're nuts and you're this and that, why are you in the fucking gym at 1 o'clock in the fucking morning? You just got to doing an op for fucking 13, 14 hours at the Ranger School, man, at the gym. What is wrong? You will never understand what is wrong with me. And that's why I'm so fucking glad you don't, because I'm in the right fucking spot. When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive where people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I don't want to talk to you, man, because you're not going to get it.
What if I told you you're only 6 months away from the life you've always dreamed of? The money, the body, the mindset, but only on one condition. You have to show up every fucking day from here on out. Up until now, that's not a price you've been willing to pay. But the reality is, there are graveyards full of men that wish they could be in your spot. 6 months to become the man you always knew you could be. Don't wait 10 years. Don't wait 10 minutes. Don't even wait 10 seconds. The time to start is now. 6 months away. I'll see you at the top, dog.
I'm going to say something to you. You're smart, you're talented, you know a few things, but talent means nothing in this game if you don't make the right choices. There's plenty of talented people out there who never see the light of day anymore. Last thing, takes discipline. Because this whole game is one big long shot. And if you don't have the discipline to stay away from the flyers or from the gambles or whatever else you want to call a stupid move, then my friend, I'm afraid to say one day you will go down. It's inevitable. You want my advice? Make a list of everything you want now, and then plan on spending the next 25 years of your life getting it. Slowly, piece by piece.
You heard? It's like we've forgotten who we are, Tom. Explorers, pioneers, not caretakers.
When I was a kid, it felt like they made something new every day. Some gadget or idea. Like every day was Christmas. But 6 billion people. Just try to imagine that. And every last one of them trying to have it all. this world isn't so bad.
Well, we used to look up in the sky and wonder at our place in the stars. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt.
When I was a kid, I was wondering kind of what's the meaning of life? Like, why are we here? What's it all about? And I came to the conclusion that what really matters is trying to understand the right questions to ask.
A person's strengths are often their biggest weaknesses. And so that also means that their weaknesses can be their strengths. So, me, I am weak. In all those ways that I listed, I am weak. But I don't accept that. I don't accept that I am what I am and that is what I'm doomed to be. No, I don't accept that. I'm fighting.
I'm getting old and weird. It's crazy. This is my first time in Tampa. I've never been here before. Unfortunately, we cannot leave the hotel. I don't have the chance to experience Tampa. What else? Yeah, I'm getting old and weird. I'm alone and look at me. There's nobody around me. Nobody likes me, man. It is what it is. Sometimes in life, people are not going to be around you to motivate you. They're not going to be around you to push you, to celebrate you, to applaud you. You got to do it on your own. That's what I'm doing right now.
Congratulations. You achieved failure. Failure has been achieved, thank God. Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been. Nothing's changed since the 70s. Nothing. Except people train not as hard.
That you're never going to completely solve anything in your life or in the world, and there's always going to be compromises that you have to make. And if you aren't willing to make those compromises, or you don't keep your mind open for those compromises, you're going to run into some real problems. But if you look at it and the fact that you might put a little more effort over here, that's going to take away from some effort over there. You can't just do everything at once. So yeah, no solutions, only trade-offs.
I start looking at people realizing I know something about you. Because they don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I already know it.
Yeah.
If you're talking shit about me,
yeah,
I know you're fucked up.
Yeah.
That's why all these cats that come out right now who don't like me, whatever, I'm like, really, man? That shit happened 30 fucking years ago, 15 years ago. You're still fucked up about that? Oh man, I know something about you, brother. See, I get over everything. I'm good.
I pretend like I have zero options. I say, well, if I don't fucking do this, bro, I'm gonna be digging ditches, so I better show the fuck up and get it done. And that might sound ridiculous to you because that's not the truth anymore, but I still tell myself that, and that's how I operate. So you have to pick something, and then you have to commit to it for as long as that's going to take to make sure that you see it through. And the other thing people do is they pick something, and then when it gets hard, they decide they want to change to one of the other options. And then when that gets hard, they change to one of the other options. And you can't get anywhere with that either. You're going to have to realize that whatever you pick, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. There's going to be times when you love it, there's going to be times when you hate it, when you'd rather do anything else but that. But you have to keep going because it takes that long to materialize into success. Now, in terms of what you want to pick, there's a lot of different philosophies on this and a lot of different thought processes.
When I seen that Bentley at the boxing gym and I seen that diamond Rolex, I said, I want that. And I knew what it took. So I know when my opponent is asleep, I'm out there at 4 or 5 in the morning, chopping trees, working, to this day. Because I can retire today. I'm well off, very comfortable. But I got the will to win. And I'm a man that's gonna honor his contract. When I was with HBO, I honored my contract. When I was with Top Rank, I honor my contract. And these young fighters right here would tell you, I'm a man of my word. If I could tell you, you gotta work with me now. Don't work against me, work with me. If I tell you that I can get you to a certain point, because my thing is this, I teach you how to fish. I don't fish for you.
I'm here laying on the floor going, I feel like somebody was stabbing knives in my quads. I used to lay there, put the towel over my face. My training partner was saying, people thought I was dying. Well, no, he's okay, don't worry about him. After about 10 minutes, one more set, okay? But you're doing great, you're doing great. I'm happy. If you can do this, it can happen.
And it's one of those laws of combat that I teach and used to teach in SEAL teams, and now I teach to businesses: prioritize and execute. Like, you've got to figure out what the priorities are and then execute on those things. But you got to figure out what the biggest priority is at any given time. Like I said, whether it's this business or your family or your health, at certain times you got to say, all right, I got to pay attention to my family right now. I can feel things are getting a little bit sketchy over there. Or, all right, my family seems solid right now. I got to focus on this part of the business. And then within the business, this particular section of the business, so you go right on down the line.
But most people are lazy, and they're looking for an easy way. They're looking for a shortcut to be successful. And there aren't any. But if you do something repeatedly, over and over, you develop a habit. So most people are in the habit of looking for easy ways to get the things they want. And they're surrounded by people who think the same way. You know, as much as 95% of your thinking is determined by the people that you associate with on a regular basis. If you associate with people who don't work hard, don't learn, socialize after work, then you become like them. You think like them, you talk like them, you dress like them, you marry them. And so you're married to someone who also has no ambition. And you raise children, and your children have no ambition. Just go to work and complain about your work.
If you're worried about something that someone did to you years ago, you're being a pussy to yourself, man. You're not getting out there and squeezing that fucking soul out every day.
Yeah.
If you grind hard, man, I ain't got time to worry about your monkey ass. I ain't got time to worry about you, man. Because tomorrow, I got to go back to the grind. And tomorrow, I go back to the grind again and again and again and again. I don't have time to put you into the hate bank. There's no hate. It's all filtered out, man, through the grind. People don't get it. There's great joy in the grind. Great joy in the suffer. It totally cleanses your body out, man, of any kind of hate. Makes you grow up.
The only way you can be open, Big, is you have to be a champion. And not plugging the book on this, but really, champions do daily what everybody do occasionally. Everybody else does. You just do it daily. You're not.
Yeah, we do.
You're not extraordinary. You just do the ordinary extra. That's it. You. That's what separates you.
Like the expectations that we have to do whatever it is that we want to do. Switch it to, like, it's almost the mindset of, I don't have to, I get to. Right? Approach everything with a level of gratitude. Secondly, look at the things that you do and see what you can extract from it. So when you lose it, is it really a loss if I can extract a level of dedication from it? Like when I didn't make it to the NFL, I looked at the process and said, okay, I gotta hang up the cleats, but let me extract that mindset. Let me extract that work ethic. Let me extract that dedication and commitment. So now that I can extract that, I can apply it to anything that I want to do in my life and get a chance at success.
No more gray decisions in your life. It either serves the man or the woman you want to become, the business you want, the father you want to be, the wife you want to be, the mom you want to be, the leader you want to be, the business you want to have. Your actions either serve and take you towards that version of yourself, or those actions take you away from that. If you get rid of, well, maybe kinda, surfing on my phone a little bit, or doing this a little bit, or binging on Netflix a little bit, or hanging out with those negative people a little bit. No. You wanna go to the next level? You know what it's like to generate the kind of money, impact, and purpose that you know you can and want to? Then there's no gray anymore. It either takes you towards the person you want to be, or it takes you away. Everything else is a no.
And everybody's different. Everybody's similar, but everybody's different. And your attitude has a giant effect, not just on your life, but on other people's lives around you. That's the other thing about it. Those I can't catch a break guys, get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't buy it. Because everybody has bad breaks.
Yeah.
I've had a shit ton of bad breaks. But you know what I did? I stayed up.
Yeah.
And I thought through it. And I figured out what the fuck I did wrong. And then I went back. It's like I fucked up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it. And I've had a bunch of shitty breaks. Everybody has.
You are your own hero. You are your own leader. You are your own master. And that is a big one because we idolize so many people. And we want to be them. We want to be someone else. And in doing that, you lose all the potential of who you are. You mimic. You be them. You are them. You become them. And you lose you. And we look up to so many people in this world who will let us down. We're humans. I'm going to let you down. You're going to let somebody down. If you put them on a pedestal, you then lose time when that person comes up and lets you down. You must hold yourself accountable, and being your own hero, that's what that does. You make yourself so totally accountable for who you are. You focus on you and only on you to become the best person you could be for others.
You got to figure out how to make it happen. And, you know, within the constraints and the boundaries that they give us in society, you know, thinking like a normal person, right? Go to high school, go to college, get the house with the white picket fence, have 2.5 kids, work, you know, your next 70 years and then retire when you're fucking 107, right? Like that's not how entrepreneurs think. Entrepreneurs don't think like that. They don't even buy into what I call the list. The list is what you're supposed to do, what they told you you're supposed to do. Being of sound mind and learning how to critically think and learning how to think outside the box to get to the destination that you want to get to is extremely important. And you should have the foresight to do that before you spend all this time dedicated to that thing and then figuring out that you can't get where you want to go.
Never want to lose. I never want to get so nice with, oh, yeah, I did it, man. I did it. I'm good. That mentality of I'm willing to pick up that shovel and I'm willing to dig a 3-mile line, there's something about that mentality that I'm ready to go to work at any time. And that's what keeps me, those are the sparks. Like, you know, I look at motivation as just a spark. It's like kindling. You know, how a big fire starts, it starts with a little smoke. It starts with a little cigarette being thrown in the woods. Next thing you know, all California's fucking burn up. That's what I've been doing my whole life, is I find these little sparks. And once that little thing takes off, that's a 1 hour fuel. Then you got 10 hour fuel. Then you can move that thing to a 10,000 hour fuel. These big logs and big trees that burn for days. And that's where you want to bring that motivation. That's where you want to bring that drive.
Sometimes the ambulance doesn't get there in time. So you as a loved one goes not to the hospital to see somebody, but to a funeral parlor. And at that funeral parlor, someone stands up and gives a eulogy. Words spoken about the character of the person. They never really talk about the financial reward that person had, the money or the cars or the houses or the fucking trophy wives. They always talk about the things stand the test of time. The character of the person that lives on even though that person is deceased. Such things as passion and love, integrity and honor, discipline, due diligence and work ethic. Those are the core values that made that character somebody that people wanted to come and pay respects to after they're dead and gone. Someone that lives on past their time in remembrance. Inspiration for someone else. It's a life lived of remembrance not forgotten. That's the core values of the human character.
Every day you come on, you do the phone tap every day. But you just do it a little extra.
Right.
That's it.
Like the entire
like
show,
I could do a phone tap.
Right.
But I'm not gonna do it every day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be extra with it.
Right.
I'm not gonna dig deeper.
Right.
Like when that lady's on the phone and she's saying this, you're gonna take her one more step.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like at a certain point, like eliminate the outcome. Stop being driven by rewards. Stop being driven by outcome. Stop being driven by, if I get this, I'm gonna do this. Just work. And if you don't get what you thought you were gonna get, show up and still go to work. Because along the process, what's more important, what you acquire or who you become? Yeah, that's big. And a lot of people think what they acquire is the thing that makes them who they are. No, it's who you become in the process of chasing what you want to acquire, right? Change expectation for appreciation. Extract the lessons and the blessings from the situations that didn't turn out the way you wanted them to turn out. But most importantly, man, approach it and eliminate the outcome, right? Just go for it, work, go to work.
You try to join the top 10% of people who are constantly improving.
Yeah.
They never stop learning.
Okay.
So we say leaders are readers.
Yeah.
Leaders in every field are constantly reading and learning more about their field. But the natural tendency is for people to work and then level off and never improve.
Right.
80% of the population never improves.
It's amazing.
Yes. And they don't understand because they're surrounded by people who are not improving either. And they think, well, this must be the way the world is. And so they feel out of control of their lives. They cannot earn more money. 80% of the population has no extra money. The amount that they earn, they spend to live. So they have no savings. They have no security because they don't earn enough. They're always paid only the minimum. But it's the top 20% of people who are paid more and more and more.
Work, 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 work. No results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, 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 work. Work, 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 work. No results, but I'm a little bit better. Work, 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 work. No results, I'm a little bit better. Work. Boom, just got paid. Because if you do all those things, even if nothing happens and you know you're doing the right thing and you're on track, overnight success becomes this easy thing because you were internally growing and then the bubble popped. And then boom, it looks like you were doing it all along. And I think a lot of people, they can't push gratitude down the road. That was something we were taught in the 80s. I feel like 80s, 90s, right?
You mean delaying gratification?
Yeah, delayed gratification. That's a muscle I think that a young man right now doesn't normally have.
When something goes wrong in your life, yes, you should learn from it. Yes, you should see it. But then get out of it and move on and focus 100% of your energy on the fix, on the solution. That's where all energy should grow. That's the only way to grow in life. You probably have a friend or know someone that was in a bad relationship and it was horrific and the other person was terrible and they're still single and they're still suffering because they want to know why it happened. How could this person do it? It was so unfair. The truth is, it was probably extremely unfair. They shouldn't have done it, but they did. What you can do is learn how to never allow that to happen again and focus 100% of the energy on the solution.
That's one. That's one. The next one I would say is the biggest one I would say is never pick the easy road. Never. And it always goes back to kind of the hero mentality. Never pick the easy road ever in your life. That is the one road that is doom. It is doom. If you want something like 6-minute abs, all these different things, if you want it so fast, you may achieve what you wanted, but you want the permanent fix. The permanent fix comes from the hard road. The hard road gives you permanent results. The easy road gives you the quick fix. You will go back to where you started on the easy route.
When you actually think about where you want to go, you chunk it down into, the steps needed to get there, and then you take those steps and you chunk them down even further, back all the way down to daily actions. What you're going to find out is how far you can go and how fast you can go is actually a much faster rate than what you thought before. So yeah, you have to be able to break that down into the daily tasks. Otherwise, you don't know if you're doing the right ones. And then a part of it is you are going to pick the wrong ones sometimes. And sometimes you're going to pick the wrong ones. You're going to work on something. You're going to work on something. You're going to work on something. And then you're going to figure out, this isn't going to work this way. And then you got to change and pivot. But since, you've been moving the needle forward in multiple directions, that one setback isn't going to bury you. You see what I'm saying? Right. So a lot of this is learning through experience too, which the power list allows you to do, because that's just making a pivot along the way.
I tell these guys, I can put you in a position to fight for the title, but you have to win the fights. I can't fight for you. I put on my shoes, I put on my clothes like everyone in here. I have good days, I have bad days. I'm only gonna have my bad days in a boxing gym, cause I'm an under the lights type fighter. Cause when I go under those lights, no matter how I win, I'll win.
Albert Einstein said that imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. That's what your imagination is. Your imagination is actually very, very real. Everything you imagine could be a preview to life's coming attraction. Everything we have today came from somebody's imagination. Somebody was talking on the phone with that cord on the wall and got sick of it and said, you know what, man, if I could just go outside and talk on the phone, ta-da, we got cell phones. Somebody got tired of driving across the country and said, man, if I could fly over there, boom, we got airplanes. Imagination is everything. It's a preview to life's coming attractions.
If you build a house on the sand, guys, as strong as that house is, as fabulous and you know, modern that house may be, if the foundation's on sand, the winds and the rains will come and that house will crumble because the foundation's shit. If you build that same house on a rock, no matter what happens, it'll stand the test of time. Just like your friend or your loved one that has died, his character lives on and stands the test of time because he built strong core values. A lot of people dying right now. A lot of people dying. In this gym, we're gonna live though. And how are we gonna live? We're gonna live healthy by building the core values of our physical structure. That's the rectus mortis, the internal and external obliques in our back muscles, our lower back muscles.
Everybody's full of shit. Nobody knows you or what you're capable of doing. And here's the reality. The hardest thing in life is figuring out who you are and what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's a big decision. I'm very blessed and lucky. I always knew who I was and exactly what I wanted to do. And once you figure that out, you wake up every day and you work toward it. That's what you do. It's impossible for you to fail if you know who you are, what you want to do, and you wake up every day and work toward it.
Hey, Will, I want to be an actor, man. I want to be an actor just like you. You know, usually people say stuff to me like that. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, you do is give them an encouraging word. But I was just sitting here thinking, and it dawned on me, 99% of people that say stuff like that are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline.
I can always get the job back. So like, this is actually a significantly lower risk move than I'm perceiving it to be. I can get the job back. Or I can get another job that's comparable. Right. I have the experience, and me doing all this stuff only makes me more valuable because I'll have a cooler story than somebody who just did 4 years of this job rather than 2 and then did 2 years of things on the road. And so that was the one argument. The secondary argument was, for me, I was young at the time. I was like, this is extremely hard to do. If you say, because I used to always tell people like, yeah, and I'd like to own my own business someday. Like, it's almost like you like tag it on to like, what do you do now? And I'd like to, and so I thought to myself, if it's this hard now, when I have no kids, I have no wife, I have no stakes, it's going to be nearly impossible for me to do later. And so I was like, I have to do it now.
So like you said, there really are only 2 macro level motivators that we have in life, and that's pleasure and pain. And so what I want people to understand is, okay, so if nature only gave you 2 things to motivate you, pleasure and pain, why would you eliminate half of them? And so most people think that life is about avoiding the pain. I'm here to tell you right now, in a very controlled fashion, it is about really experiencing the pain, learning from it. So Ray Dalio, the most successful hedge fund manager of all time, has a perfect math equation. Pain plus reflection equals progress.
Every shot, you can go back and say, I was here. This person was in the red shirt there. Greatness is being so aware of the time of life in the second that went by, and you can recall it like it was yesterday. Greatness is being able to go back there, not making that same mistake again, and being haunted by it. That is greatness.
Interested people watch obsessed people change the world. You think about the technology boom, all the things that happen, with everything that's going on, those individuals were obsessed. They were obsessed. And you know what obsessed people do? Obsessed people give interested people something to talk about. They give you something to talk about. Everybody who's obsessed in their business, in their field of action, they are the topic of the conversation of the employees at work. They're the water cooler conversations. They're the individuals people are texting about because they're so engrossed in your life with your obsession with what you're doing, they don't have time for their own because they're interested in what's going on with them.
Every day, because I have a vision, I have my confidence, and I believe in myself. People call it arrogant, I call it confidence. Ignorant people call it arrogant, intelligent people call it confidence. Since day one, never. Since day one, but not only when I came to MLS, since I started to play football, because I believe so much in myself and I have a bulletproof mind, and when I go out there, I know what I'm able to do, and I do it good. Please do not offend me. I don't need to prove nothing, even if I don't score the goals today, and I have a lot of respect for Vela. He's a good player, but you did one mistake. You compare him with me. That was your biggest mistake.
If you pan it down here, you see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person in sight. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times. We're in the time of toxic masculinity, right? Where you could be toxically male. And then if you're suppressing masculinity, you're going to bring on hard times. It doesn't mean masculinity doesn't mean you're mean. It doesn't mean you're angry. It means strength. It means discipline. It means the ability, like you need a military. And if you don't think you need a military, you need to go and pay attention to the rest of the world, because there's militaries all over the world that are doing horrific things. If you don't have a military in this country that can combat that and at least act as a deterrent to them doing things, you're going to get taken over. That's what's happened.
You know, something as simple as food and eating is not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. Every day we are choosing shit that's not in our own best interest, right? So if the world is attacking you and the world wants to fight you and the world's trying to hold you down, so you're gonna kick yourself in the balls? So you're gonna stop yourself from getting what you dream. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
Everything you've ever imagined is real. See, I tell young people like this. First of all, this is how your imagination works. You got to grab this concept. It is impossible for you to think an impossible thought. That is impossible. You can't think something that ain't possible. You ain't that smart. So if it's in your head, you gotta ask yourself, how did it get there? That's God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. The problem with most people is you think your imagination is hocus pocus. It's really not. It's a preview of a coming attraction. If you react to your imagination, that's where your real life is. It's just God showing you what he has for you. It's the problem people have is they tell their imagination to the wrong people.
So if you have no kindling, the kindling is me going out with these young guys saying, all right, motherfucker, you're 43. It's a 20-year-old. Keep up with them. That kindling now, when I leave those young guys, it has now become that 10-hour fuel. And now that 10,000-hour fuel that I use throughout my whole life. I use that throughout my whole life, man. Hey, this summer at 43, you went out there and you did that, man. So, you're not giving up yet. You're not done yet. not today. You're not done today.
But top people associate with other top people. There is what you've heard about the law of attraction. And the law of attraction says that if you change the way you think, you start to attract new people into your life. If you become aggressive about personal development and personal growth, you start to meet other people who think the same way. And the old groups of people that you associated with fall away, and the new group of people appears. So people say, well, where do I find positive people who are thinking about success all the time? First, you become one, and then you will naturally attract it.
When you get to where you want to go in life, when you finally get there, you finally reach that point, and you're there, and you're happy as hell, realize this: you're not there yet. When you get that feeling that you arrived, be afraid.
Right.
Be truly afraid, because now you start to do this.
Slowly die.
Slowly die. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. You're not staying the same.
Yeah.
So when you get to where you think the journey is ended, and you're sitting back and you're like, I arrived, I'm on Mount Everest. I climbed 29,029.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is fall back down that damn mountain as fast as you can and start climbing.
I see all this potential, and I see it squandered. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives. We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. And we're very, very pissed off.
But you got to realize when you have those shitty breaks what that is. It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through. It's just little challenges. And the people that look at those challenges and go, why do I always have these challenges? They're cancer. Those people are dangerous to be around. They will rob you of your enthusiasm. They don't give you any fuel. They're the opposite of fuel.
Yeah.
Like the fuel people,
they're the whole
the people that are kicking ass, the people that are out there just fucking hustling, always getting things done. The guy, like my friend Jocko, every morning I'll check his Instagram page, 4:30, shows a picture of his watch, get after it. He's out there working out 4:30 in the morning. He does it every fucking morning. Why? Because he doesn't want to. And that's how you do it. You go and get after it. You don't make any excuses. And those kind of guys are fuel. But those I can't catch a break guys, they're the opposite of fuel. They're just pissing on your fire. They're no fun. And the people that surround them are all idiots.
I think I'm good, but I think my main strength, it's my mind. I think it's my strongest point, it's my mind. Pierce, the numbers they don't lie. If you see during the last 15 years, my level is always kind of the same. So effort, dedication, work hard, because the talent is not enough anymore. And if you're not dedicated 100%, you're not gonna reach the level that you want.
150,000 people died yesterday though. Do you get that? And you're still here. And you can't find something to be grateful for? You're still complaining about your little teeny tiny struggles. But I bet that if given the option, every single one of those 150,000 people would be glad to change places with you right now. You're alive, your heart is beating, you have food, you have water, you have shelter, you have clothing, you have a few people that love you. You have so much to be grateful for. Stop focusing on the things that you don't have and the things that you want, and start focusing on what you do have.
The right time doesn't exist. You don't wait for motivation, you build discipline. So the biggest mistake here is waiting until you feel ready. Motivation is fleeting, but action, no matter how small, will build momentum. And that's how change begins. So here's what you do. Just pick one habit and stick to it. Stop doing so many things at the same time, and don't aim for perfection. Just aim to show up. Build trust with yourself, and the results will follow, I promise you that.
If you don't feel the pain, you never reflect on it. So my thing is, I spend 80% of my time focused on the beautiful things in my life, the things I'm grateful for, the beautiful things that I want to bring into existence, all of it. 20% of the time though, I'm in the darkness, man. I'm in that Tim Grover, relentless, I'm going to make this happen if I have to break myself, and I'm not afraid to lean into that because I know how powerful it is. Now, if you really want to put numbers how powerful this is, they did a study and they wanted to find out what happens, how can we get people to endure more pain? And the punchline is hilarious. So they would take people and they would submerge their arm in a bucket of ice, and they would just hold it there as long as you can. Now at first it's just cold, but after a while it really starts to hurt. And so people would end up yanking their arms out. They found that people could hold their arm in the bucket 35% longer if you let them display anger.
You can't be weak. And in this country, being weak is thought of as a virtue. Jordan Peterson has a really interesting way of looking at this, and he said it to me once, and it made a lot of sense. He said, people think that you should be weak and you should be docile, and then you should be a pacifist. He goes, no, you should be a monster. He said you should be a monster, you should be ruthlessly ambitious, and then learn how to control it. And it's that old expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
And I'm answering your questions. Every question I'm answering it. I'm with you. But in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking about is all the times I could have won those matches that I lost by not bringing my best mindset. You're haunted by all the opportunities that you missed by not bringing your best at that time. When you could have won, but you didn't win because you allowed life to interfere with that one shot. When you're sitting there getting ready to serve for the match, and your mind is not thinking about where that ball placement needs to be, but it's thinking about your family this, or this at work, or that at work. That's greatness.
I always say there's buckets, and all of them can fill up. So you could be super in shape, body like just ready to go on stage all the time, but be broke, or not have worked on yourself intellectually, not understand the world, not work on your fashion or your sense of how to deal with a person, shake a hand, look somebody in the eye. They're things that really matter. Because a high level man, a guy like you, a guy like Sartorial, a guy like Andrew, Tristan, they're gonna know if you're not making proper eye contact, shaking hands the right way. They're gonna see that brittleness inside of here because they've been through it. And I think that's very risky for a young man as well. In a world where you can make a lot of money really fast, you can skip a lot of things that are going to be foundationally important to your development as a person.
It's an old expression, but it makes sense, because it doesn't mean that you can't be kind if you're strong, but it does mean you can't be strong if you're weak. If you're weak, you're fucked. And there's a lot of weak people in this country right now that are trying to take control, and they're gathering up all the other weak people, and they say, yeah, let's all be weak together. And they're willing to embrace all sorts of ideas that have been disproven, not just disproven, that have caused the deaths of untold millions of people in Maoist China and Stalinist Russia, and it's crazy. And they're short-sighted, and they're short-sighted because in the short term, they want their tribe to win, and there's so many weak people that'll join along with them. There's so many just simple-minded dullards that just want to promote their tribe.
For example, you arrive home, you had a lunch, you do it a quick nap, and you wake up, you play with your kids, blah, blah, and I have to go to the gym at least 30, 40 minutes, but this will make the difference in the end of the day, you understand? If you not do that work, you miss one. The next day, it's 2 sessions that you lost, and I know in the end of the day, in the hand, they're gonna make a huge difference.
It's the little things that also could stop you in your tracks compared to accelerate you forward. So think about routines. What routines do you have that maybe slow down your progress, and they could be adjusted to routines that speed up your progress, right? If you have a routine of waking up in the morning and checking your phone and getting sucked into it and surfing on the internet, that's a routine. You got one. People say you need routines to be successful. No, everybody's got routines. You need a good routine. How do you shift that routine? How do you create a new discipline where you go, hey, when I wake up, I'm not gonna look at my phone. I'm gonna practice a little gratitude. I'm gonna focus on what kind of win I'd want for the day. And then I'm gonna go take a walk, or go take a run, or I'm gonna go to the gym. You see, it's those little things, because if you set that routine up, that discipline up in the morning, I promise you'll spend the day in more of an offensive way, not defensive.
It's not about the vanity, guys. Everyone's like, how do I get a six-pack? How do I get a six-pack? Always worried about the vanity and how they look in the mirror. No, it's not about that. It's about the functionality. In order to grow a shoulder and a chest and a bicep, in order to grow our legs, if we don't have a strong enough core, we cannot stabilize ourselves in order to lift that load, to put the stress on the other muscles to grow from. So all that work that we go and we build to grow this body we want can go in vain if we don't have a strong enough core to support it. And with a weak core, what happens? You're not in the gym growing, you're in that ambulance, going to the hospital in a backwards progression, recovering instead of growing. Today, I'm gonna show you how to build that core the right way. I'm not gonna sell the sexy abs and everything else. I'm gonna sell functionality to you. I'm gonna sell you a theory that will stand the test of time. That if you put your work into the equation, everything else will grow and you can bear the fruits of that labor.
When you know too much, it's like a child. A child will do anything. A child will skateboard off of crazy heights and do crazy stuff and do flips, you know? When you get older, you go, oh, God, I could get hurt. Yeah. So you start limiting yourself, how far you want to go. But, you know, you have to go through this time where you don't go to failure. You know, you get out of shape, so to speak. You're not out of shape, but because the only way to get in shape is to get out of shape. The only way to go to failure is not go to failure, and you know the difference.
Because only idiots want to be around I can't catch a break guys.
Yeah.
Only the dummies stick around. After a while, even if they're your good friend, you got to be like, bro, you got to fucking stop. You got to stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break shit is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you. But some people, they get caught in that pattern, and it might be their parents, it might be how they were raised, somebody might have told them they were useless real early on, it's stuck, and they never feel like they get enough reassurance, they never feel like they get enough motivation. And they feel like other people get more. And they look at all these other people. How come he gets that? How come she gets this? How come he's got that going on? And that's bad for you too. That shit ain't no good for you.
But what's very important, in my opinion, in the beginning, is that two things come in mind. One, you pick something that you actually care about, that you're actually passionate about. And a lot of people say, do what you're passionate about. Okay, yeah, that's true. But why is it true? Well, here, I'll explain it. Because the first 3 or 4 years, you're not gonna fucking make any money. You think you are, but I promise you, you won't. And what's gonna happen is you're going to have to believe in this thing or enjoy doing this thing for long enough that it bridges the gap between when you start and when you actually start making a lot of money. And so you need to pick something that you care about, that you're passionate about, because you need to understand that from when you start to when it starts to produce fruit is going to be time. And that love and that passion and that drive is going to have to carry you through that process. So what are you passionate about? First thing to think about. Secondly, what can be scaled into a brand, into a business that will get you the life that you want? A lot of people pick what they're passionate about, but not a lot of people ask themselves, can this actually be scaled out to be something?
It's hard to humble yourself. You got some 21-year-old little punk ass bitch saying, hey, pick up that shit and come on. I'm like, what the fuck did you say? I'm like, okay, Goggins, like, you're a rookie, man. Like, so that's all the training behind the mindset of it all.
Right.
Is that you can't ever be the point where you never learn from people.
Right.
You know, you have to always humble yourself and go back to that. Yeah, you know, like right now, there's people listening to this podcast, like, oh yeah, you're great, Goggins. No, you ain't shit, Goggins. And that's the mindset I always want to have. Not like I'm not proud of myself, but you have to always keep that, like, I want to keep that dog in me. Mm-hmm. And I can't always know everything.
Most big guys like yourself have a problem going to failure. I'm shocked. It's like most guys don't have the wind. 15, 20 reps is like, oh my God. To me, that's like half a cent. I mean, I'm doing 50s all the time. It was crazy, but I wasn't good at reps. I trained for reps, but the reps is key. Reps is the secret. But that failure, that last rep where you think, eventually you'll know. Like I know even today, even last month when I was squatting back in LA, I know I don't have one more rep. I know there's nothing left, but I'm willing to take it to that far to where it's like, okay, I can make it back to the rack, maybe. Okay, and that's where I want you to go.
I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scrapping, and I'm kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them, to stop them. Some days I win. Some days I don't. But each and every day, I get back up and I move forward with my fists clenched toward the battle, toward the struggle. And I fight with everything I've got to overcome those weaknesses and those shortfalls and those flaws. As I strive to be just a little bit better today than I was yesterday.